Good morning, Raiders, and welcome to another edition of Nazareth and EOD Explain It All. Today we're going to go over airplane mode and what's going on with that so that we're not leaving additional turn meter for uh, the people that try to follow on behind us during territory wars. I know NAZ has got some good stuff on it, and I'm looking forward to talking about this one today.
Yeah, so the Raiders, the officers have been talking about this a little bit, and I know some people are new to the guilds or been there for a long time and just too embarrassed to bring up the fact that they're not quite familiar with what airplane mode is. And so we'll go over that quickly. So when you go into, here's the situation. So if you go into a territory war battle, you go and pick the team that you're going to go up against, select up your squad, and then you enter into the combat. Um, you don't realize that they've got enough burst damage and they just obliterate your team. They obliterate your squad. It ends, and all of a sudden, now that that's happened, you haven't done really any work against that particular team, and now you've loaded up their team meter because what happens is the amount of team meter that was left on that squad carries over to the next fight. So then when someone else comes in there and trying to clean up, they run into that team already having the first step on them. So what we need to do on this is to set up what's called airplane mode. So if you want to explain that, EOD.
All right, so much like Naz was saying, like if you're leaving that turn meter for everybody else to fall in on, it doesn't matter how fast your Darth Revan or your Jedi Knight Luke or any of them are, they're obliterated. So Naz will go to the top of the screen and basically, so you're going to go into a battle, and as you just after you start the battle, most of us all have a pull down where we can pull down like on an Apple device. There's the game center that you can pull down, and it's got, are you in Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and you can do airplane mode. So you'll turn on airplane mode once you've started the battle, and this gives you the full range of the battle. Now, just before the last character dies, if you're going to win, turn airplane mode off. It'll register that you beat all of them, and you can move on. But if you've lost, it leave it on. You'll lose the character, and you can back out still, but you can use the characters that you've used because it registered that. But it also registers that you are still you've lost the fight, but it understands that you have not left turn meter. Is really the best way it's been explained to me.
So if you want, I can try to imagine that this is a territory battle. So like I said, you've got your squad that you're going to pick up. Now, granted, this is a squad arena, and this doesn't work the same way. This only really is useful in territory war. But here's how the mechanics of the game work. So I go in there, I pick the squad, I queue up what squad I'm going to use to battle with, hit battle. Now the game is going into the server, it's pulling down all the content, getting ready for the battle. At this point, you're no longer talking to the server on Star Wars. So what you can do at any point, if things are going bad, is to close out the app. It'll go and register it as a loss, but it'll act like the battle never took place. You will still lose all the members that or all the members of your squad that you fielded on this battle. It will register as a loss on the battle, but they won't register any damage. But more importantly, they won't accrue any team meter. Now, why we go with airplane mode and not just close out the battle is how many times have you gone into a battle, burst damage, and you fell flat on your face faster than you could go and close out the application? The minute that comes up and says defeat, that's registered, that's toe tagged, you are done. That's going to go into the team, or that's going to go into the territory battle, or territory war as a loss, and it'll go and count how much health and how much turn meter. We do not want that. So when you get into the battle like you see right now, we go and turn on airplane mode. So if you're using an iPhone or an Android, you'll have to go and check on how to do that. And there's tons of videos on how to show you how to turn on your airplane mode. But by turning on airplane mode, that shuts off the data communication between you and the server. So if you do fall flat on your face with a burst damage, that gives you that safety net to saying, okay, don't talk to the server. We don't want you to go and tell them, hey, I lost. At that point, you go and close out the app. Do not turn on or turn off airplane mode before you close out the app. Because if you do, it says, okay, I got my data connection back. I'll talk to the server and I'll register the loss. Close out the app. Once you close out the app, it's completely off. And I'm not just talking about swiping and hiding it like you can do on the phone. I mean physically shutting off the app. At that point, then you can turn on airplane mode. And when you open up Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes again, you'll see that it's all loading back up. And when you go in there, it'll show the loss. Now, if you succeed, do not shut off your application. Go ahead, turn on airplane mode because we want to record that. We want to go back and talk to the servers and let them know, hey, this is what I wanted. It'll record it. Now, here's the touchy spot where it's kind of goes from science to art is the fact when do you want to record it even though you did not win? So what do you think on that, EOD?
Well, if we want to record the action, but not the and really what I know what happens if you're in airplane mode and you've ended the fight and it says defeat or it's you've backed out successfully, even if you are in airplane mode, it'll register those defeats. So if you're able to, as we've seen, say Arnold do on some of his live streams, and back out when it's okay, we are at a toe tag and they're filling it out, but they haven't put it on your toe yet, then you've made it. But if you're able to get out of it without like you'll get out of the app, or even if you go through the defeat, at the end of that, they'll pop up a message that says we cannot connect to the server, and it'll close the app for you. But you still have to physically finish closing the app and reset the app before you come back in.
Right. But where I'm getting at with the art and the science thing is I would say the rule of thumb to say when you want to record it, even though that you didn't win, is if you knock out one or two of their squad members.
Oh,
If you knock
absolutely.
one
So,
go ahead.
no, I apologize for that, but like I had a Gran Torino the other day. I took out everybody but SLKR. In my eyes, that's a W. But it's not. But let's not back out. Let's hold to that. Now I go back in. I start another fight with a Dark Mallet to try to clear it up, and I have to back out just before everything so that Kylo doesn't have everything when I come back in.
Yeah, and then you can let one of our big fish finish it off with, or somebody with a weaker squad come up and clean that out for you. But if you are in a position and you're curious and you decide, hey, I am going to register this and turn on or turn off airplane mode, please go to the channel on our Discord on Territory Wars and let the officers know, yeah, this was intentional. Let me know if this was good or not so we can get, better with our Territory Wars.
Communication is key, everybody.
Right.
Communication is key.
I ran some down. I didn't knock anybody out, but there was a sliver of life on a couple of key members of a squad. That can look like I didn't go and use airplane mode because they didn't see anybody knocked out, and that does increase their turn meter. I felt that it was a pretty easy clean after I got through. So I wanted to make sure by communicating that into Territory Wars, and that lets people know that, hey, this was intentional and this wasn't a problem, or this wasn't an accident. At this point, I think if you have any more questions, get on Territory Wars, the channel on Discord, and start talking to the officers.
I agree with that, and remember, it's a team game when we're playing some of those Territory Wars, the Territory Battle. It's all about working together as a group and getting as much as we can so that we all succeed, not the individual.
Well, I think that's a good place to call it. If you guys got questions, feel free to put them in the comments, but please go to the Territory Wars channel and let them know. This is Nazareth.
COD.
Take care.